Hey, my name's Josh. I'm one of the partners and co-founders at Figures. Figures is your all-in-one accounting solution, and before starting Figures, I've worked at EY, Barclays, and Crown Agents Bank. In today's video, we're going to look at the VAT flat rate scheme. So, what it is, could it save you money, how to work out if it's right for you, if it's not right for you, and if you qualify for it in the first place. So let's get into things. So, how the scheme works. Step one, you always charge your clients 20%. So currently, if you're a VAT registered business, you will charge your clients 20%. If you're on the flat rate scheme, the same thing applies. You still charge your clients 20%. But instead of claiming back all your costs, you claim back at a fixed rate. And I'll show you these rates in just a minute. But step three is you keep the difference. So bear in mind that the standard rate is 20% and that is what you charge. If I jump here, and if you search this in Google, you can find it yourself. So the flat rate scheme, depending on the type of business. So accountancy, bookkeeping, that's at 14.5%. Advertising 11, agricultural services 11, so on and so forth. I won't read these out, but check it out for your business, what the percentage is. And again, you charge 20% and you can claim back this percent. So as an accountant, basically I make a net 5.5%. So 20 minus 14.5 is 5.5. And I'll show you an example on the next slide how this works out for me, or how it works out in general. So take a service-based business with a net turnover of 50,000 in a quarter, because VAT is submitted quarterly, just as a heads up, it's done quarterly, using a flat rate of 14.5%. So if my net turnover for the quarter is 50,000, I would charge 20,000. I'll charge 20% as VAT. So 20% of 50,000 gives me this £10,000 here. So the flat rate paid to HMRC is 14.5% of 60,000, which is the 50 plus the 10 gives me the 60,000. The 14.5% is my flat rate, as mentioned here, which is 8,700. This means that I keep 1,300 at the end of my VAT submission. So that is my net 1,300. So most people say, but you can't claim VAT back. This is the most common concern about the flat rate scheme, and it's worth understanding why it's actually not the deal breaker people think it is. So true for day to day, but often it's irrelevant, and there are exceptions to the rule. So if a single capital asset costs £2,000 plus, which north of £2,000, which is and also includes the VAT in that 2,000, it can still be reclaimed. So like for example, if you ought to buy a laptop, you can still claim for that laptop, provided it's north of £2,000. And you're not limited to just one item in that quarter or one item a year. Hypothetically, I'll use extremes, but you could buy like 100 £2,000 laptops in that quarter, and you can claim each of them back. Obviously, they'll look a bit weird. HMRC will probably flag something, but the logic prevails in the sense that it is per item. And number three, low-cost service businesses usually still come out ahead despite not reclaiming VAT. So is this right for you? There's a few criteria you need to meet in order to use the flat rate scheme. So first, you must have a taxable turnover of under £150,000 to enter the flat rate scheme. And you need to leave the flat rate scheme if you turn over north of £230,000. In your first year, you get an extra 1% discount on your flat rate. So if I jump back to this, you can see here 14.5 in my first year is going to be 13.5. 11 goes down to 10, so on and so forth. So first year discount of 1%, but there's also something to watch out for. It's called a limited cost trader rule. And limited cost traders are forced into 16.5%, which eliminates most of the benefit. And I'll touch on what this is. Limited cost trader. So if your VAT inclusive spend on goods is less than 2% of your gross turnover, or under £1,000 per year, HMRC will classify you as a limited cost trader and apply 16.5% rate. So this means that if you're like a service-based business with extremely low costs, you're just going to have to be at 16.5%. And the reason why HMRC do this is so it helps to level the playing field. So you're not getting such a massive advantage compared to other businesses which obviously would benefit more from the flat rate scheme. Most likely, most people would not fall into this limited cost trader. So, at a glance, you may benefit from the flat rate scheme if you're a service-based business with low costs. your taxable turnover is under 150k, and you won't spend heavily on VAT bearing purchases. So the key takeaways is you charge 20%, you pay less, and you keep the gap, or you keep the difference. And not reclaiming VAT is usually a non-issue. So what this means is, for service-based businesses with a low day-to-day cost, the inability to reclaim input VAT rarely outweighs the flat rate saving. And there's a very easy calculation which you can do to see if this is worthwhile for you. I'll go back to this slide here. If your turnover is 50,000 in the quarter, you collect 10,000, and then you do your flat rate scheme, so 14.5 of 60, again the 50 plus 10 is the 60, 8,700. If this number here, the VAT collected from clients, minus this number, if it ends up negative, you just want to be on the normal scheme. But if this number ends up positive, you want to be on this scheme. The reason being is, if this number is negative, it means that there's more that you could get from reclaiming VAT than there is from using the flat rate scheme. And finally, 3 things to check before joining. Confirm your sector rate, check whether the limited cost trader rule applies to you, most likely it won't, and don't forget your first year 1% discount. And as always, if you've got any questions, please feel free to drop me an email. This is my number here. Give me a call on WhatsApp, drop me a message. Anything I can do to help, I'll be there. And also, this is a QR code. If you scan this QR code, you go to my website, and there's some free information on there for you, some checklists that might be helpful. So hopefully this helped you, and if you've got any questions, just let me know.